Hello and thanks for joining me today on my channel, and this is Discovering My Fitness. Today I'm going to be talking about sports medicine and how you can kind of adapt that or use that to help you lose weight. So the main thing about sports medicine is it is not just for athletes. So you don't want to get scared away from basically trying to use some of these things to benefit your training. Now at the beginning, again, don't get scared away from something thinking, oh, I gotta implement all these things at once. It's not the way it really has to work. I'm not a doctor, so maybe a doctor would tell you otherwise, but simply I didn't start that way, and I'm implementing more things as I go. So um, this is definitely something I think can help you, especially as you get going. But at the beginning, just get started, make it simple, and then add things on. That's really the best advice. So sports medicine can actually help you with individualized programs for your training, wherever you're at, whatever your health level's at, whatever your physical level's at, whatever your capabilities are, they can assess that and then move on. Now, if you can't afford to pay somebody, you can do a lot of research on your own and really get specific workouts for each program. And again, these things can be developed over time, implemented over time. And when you first start out, you're starting out light and easy, especially if you're out of shape. You're going to want to kind of work your way into it. But definitely, as you go, you want to develop some kind of a program to keep you consistent and monitor how you're progressing. By developing a program, you're also allowing yourself to have more safety because you're planning out what you're doing, right? You're not just going out and jumping on the tennis court right away after not playing for 20 years, or you're not going out and trying to run a marathon. You're kind of having a plan and a process. So keeping it safe and healthy is also very important. So sports medicine can help you plan that out. I've talked about this in other videos. So nutrition is definitely something that you need with physical activity. You need to coordinate it a bit, but at the beginning, it may not matter as much, again, because like I did, I started with 10 minutes of walking, so I didn't really adjust a lot of things. I just got myself going, so it wasn't a huge thing. Diet wasn't really a part of it, but I'm really trying to improve my diet and help enhance my physical training with the diet that I'm eating. So I'm trying to get foods that are going to help me have more energy and reduce any of the other garbage foods, I guess, for the lack of a better word right now, that I really wasn't getting a lot out of, right? So things are going to help me with my physical activity and help me stay more alert and have a better production through that workout and nutrition. So this one might be hard for new people, and I know I kind of resist it myself at different times, but it's lifestyle changes. So how do you want to do things? Like, for instance, I never got up in the morning. So it's 8 in the morning on Sunday. When I was younger, I didn't even know what 8 o'clock in the morning looked like on a Sunday. So it's all, lifestyle changes happen progressively and to suit your needs. But it's not just getting up early, but it's changing the way you do things and how you do things and being more mindful. So going to bed at a decent hour. Then I also get up and I get going, get my exercise. I find it energizing. So for me, it's a good thing. And as you do things like that to make changes, whatever your changes are, your lifestyle changes, the more positive ones you can make, the better, right? So if you're someone who goes out on a Friday night all the time and have no energy on Saturday because the activities of Friday night get in the way, maybe those are things that you want to look at changing. We resist them because we think, well, this is what we're supposed to be doing. But I don't have that Friday night party thing anymore for myself. So making changes was a little bit easier, and getting up early is a little easier. So look at how you can maybe change your lifestyle. And I use the extreme one of going out on a Friday night and then not getting up on a Saturday morning. But there's other little changes in your life you can do to make more positive outlook and get your exercising done and allow yourself to improve your nutrition and so on and so forth. So what types of thing in your lifestyle can you make small positive changes and kind of build on what you're trying to achieve? So with sports science, of course, there's so much technology out there and there's so much science behind it. And again, don't be scared off by these things. So apps are getting easier and easier to use, so those things aren't necessarily as scary, but first time using something, it can still be frustrating. You may not understand it, you might not know the terminology, so on and so forth. Just get started using things that are going to help you. So if you're tracking your weight, that's really easy. You can do that on a weigh scale, and you just put it in the app, and it tells you, are you up or down for the week or the month or whatever. And so you can kind of track where your weight is kind of progressing. So that's a simple one, but you can also do things for your heart rate. You can do things for how far you biked or run, and you can do the timing on them apps. And I don't use a lot of apps per se. I track my weight, but you can implement all these things, and if you think they're going to help you, definitely you should do them. But don't get frustrated and don't get scared off by them. They're not difficult. And then of course, there's a whole bunch of other science that you can start reading about and understanding more about your body. So those things are really important. Like I've talked about how the muscles tear down and then rebuild. These are all things that are science, and you can understand them more as you're progressing in your workouts. But definitely sports science can help you be more aware and understand more about what it is you're trying to achieve. So the great thing about sports science is it can address certain populations. So we always think sports science is maybe something that top athletes do, like professional athletes or Olympic athletes. But sports science has gone a long way to tell us how our bodies work, and if we're sedentary, and how we can improve on that, and how we should progress with our exercise, and so on and so forth. How many times you should be doing cardio a week, how many times you should be weight training, and so on and so forth. We know that younger people recover faster, where older people recover slower. So these things definitely have an advantage, but use that to really understand your situation and specialize it to your own program, because sports science can be actually geared towards your situation and what it is you're trying to do. All right, so if you're coming from a very sedentary situation, or you are super inactive with minor activities, like you still go out and participate in the baseball game or the softball game once a week, but really physical activity is not something you do regularly. You can interact with all kinds of medical professionals to see how you can best get yourself back into training, how you can lose weight, what's the safest way to do it. So there's doctors, dietitians, physical trainers, massage therapists, physiotherapists. All these people can help you in different ways. And so you really want to integrate that as much as possible. Now, as I've said before, if financing is tough, or not financing, but your financial situation's not great and you can't pay for some of these service providers, you can look up a lot of this information. So definitely, understand that is available to you. All right, so practical implementation is important. So as I've kind of touched on already, you're not going to jump off the couch and go start playing tennis when you haven't played tennis for 20 years. Maybe you'll go out and hit the ball against the wall kind of thing, but you're not necessarily going to jump in and play a full game. All kinds of injuries can happen. Now, the younger you are, the less likely that is. The older you are, the more chance you have of injury. And different people are at different stages. So, for instance, I have a brother who's pretty close to the same age as me, but our physical capabilities are much different. He's much more capable than I am. So I can't go out and try and do a triathlon. That is not something that would even be practical for me. And even the training for it is not something that I would even get into this year or even next year. If I was, and I'm not, because that is not not something I think I want to do, but for those of you who want to, it might be a 2 or 3, maybe a 4-year process, right? So wherever you're starting from, you might have to do that. So how do you practically implement that? How do you use your healthcare professionals? How do you use the science that's available, nutrition, so on and so forth, right? So practical implementation of where you're at, so that you can start exercising at a capable level and prevent yourself from injuries. That is so important. So use that knowledge, use sports science, and implement it slowly. And don't be scared off by the terminology or or the technology, get started on it, start using it, and you use it in a way that's going to be beneficial to you. All right, so that's it for today. I hope you'll click subscribe and like. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Hope you have a great day.